So if you are a woman and you're over 30 and maybe you're single, or maybe you and your partner just aren't ready, or you just want to live life a little bit more before getting pregnant, these are the most important things you can do to really ensure that you'll get pregnant when you want. Unfortunately, what happens is that most people don't realize they actually have a hormonal imbalance until they go to get pregnant. They think they'll be able to get pregnant right away, and they can't. And that can be really difficult because, again, if you're waiting to get pregnant, if you're in your 30s, it's already harder. So we want to make sure that we're optimizing our health and optimizing our hormone health and fertility so that we're already going into this conception period with balanced hormones. And that's going to lead to a healthier pregnancy, a higher chance of getting pregnant naturally, and just feeling better overall in your body. A pregnancy over the age of 35 is actually considered a geriatric pregnancy, which is like crazy. But the reality is there's so much we can do. So many women just jump straight to IVF if they can't get pregnant naturally. And I get it. It's really frustrating. It's really scary. But there's so much from a dietary and nutrition perspective that you can actually do to optimize fertility that many women actually aren't doing and they're missing out on. So even if you do IVF, this will still improve the chances of it working. Or if you prefer to do a natural pregnancy, this can be super helpful as well. The unfortunate truth is that it does get more difficult for women to get pregnant when they get older. However, it doesn't necessarily have to, and there are a ton of dietary and lifestyle things that you can do to help increase your chances of a natural pregnancy in your 30s and beyond. In this video, I'm going to tell you exactly what I would do as a 30-plus-year-old woman who's not quite ready to have kids but wants to in the future, preserve my fertility, increase chances of getting pregnant, and getting pregnant naturally in a healthy way. For those of you who don't know me, my name is Leah Barrick. I am a functional nutritionist that helps women balance hormones and improve fertility. We live in a totally different age than even our parents did. People used to get pregnant so much earlier, and now women are waiting longer to get pregnant. They're doing their careers, they're trying to find the perfect partner. People want to wait. And that shouldn't mean that they're not able to have kids if they want to. So if you want kids, or even if you're not sure, this is still important because this is still going to help you optimize fertility so that you have the choice. Unfortunately, what happens is a lot of women don't realize that they need to be proactive about these things, and it gets to be too late. And then they have to rely on IVF or other medical procedures that don't always work. So if we can help you get pregnant naturally and help optimize your ovulation and your hormone health, that is going to be key. Even if you do end up using something like IVF, it still will actually increase the chances of that working. So whether you have a natural pregnancy or not, everything we talk about in today's video is going to be helpful for overall hormone health as well as fertility. Let's get started. The first thing that we want to do if we want to increase our chances of fertility in our 30s and beyond is to actually get off of hormonal birth control. Most women are on hormonal birth control for so many years. They start in high school and they're on it indefinitely, and they assume incorrectly often that they can just stop it and they'll get pregnant immediately. Unfortunately, that's not always the case. The number of reasons we want to get off birth control way before we actually want to get pregnant. One is that it can take your body a lot of time to actually reacclimate. So hormonal birth control basically shuts down your hormonal system. So we need to reestablish that connection between our brain and our ovaries so that we start ovulating regularly and have healthy, strong ovulation. The other reason is even if your body goes right back to ovulating regularly, hormonal birth control actually causes a number of side effects that we want to avoid so that we can go into pregnancy strong. For example, it causes nutrient deficiencies. And pregnancy is one of the most taxing things on the body. So we want to make sure that we're going into pregnancy in a really good nutritional state. We want to make sure all of those stores are really high of our vitamins and our minerals, and our inflammation is low, and our gut health is looking good, and our thyroid's working well. So we want to give our body time to balance out those hormones after hormonal birth control before conceiving if possible. And this can take some time. So we want to get off of hormonal birth control, ideally around 6 months. If you can do a year, that's even better. And if you're looking for some non-hormonal birth control options, when you're not ready to actually conceive, but you're going off of hormonal birth control, you could either do something like a copper IUD, which does not have hormones, or you can use the fertility awareness method. I recommend working with a coach for this, or you can use barrier method, or a combination of the three. Next, we want to get intimate with our cycles. What I mean by this is we want to be tracking our cycles every single month. We also want to track our basal body temperature every single day. This can actually tell us if and when we are ovulating. So this is taking your temperature every single morning at the exact same time every day before getting out of bed. This basically tells us if we have ovulated, because once you ovulate, your body produces progesterone, and this increases your temperature. So your chart will be lower, 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 and then when you ovulate, it will rise. So you want to make sure that you're tracking your temperature so that you can confirm ovulation, and you start to get intimate with your cycle. You start to understand, okay, what does the first half of my cycle look like? When do I usually ovulate? Is it day 14? Is it day 17? Most women incorrectly assume they automatically ovulate halfway through their cycle, and that is not actually true. So we want to make sure the second half of your cycle, the luteal phase, is long enough as well, because that tells us that you have enough progesterone. And we need that progesterone to make sure that once you're ready to conceive, it actually helps support baby and keeps baby healthy. So we need to make sure we have enough progesterone for a healthy pregnancy. And so if your luteal phase is very short, so the time after your temperature rises, that gives us information, and it tells us that we need to work on increasing your progesterone and increasing the luteal phase of your cycle. So tracking temperatures is so important. It's really empowering. You start to really understand what's happening in your body on each day, how you feel, when your ovulation is, how long each of the phases of your cycle is. And this is really important because eventually as well, you'll know when you're ready to actually conceive what day is best, because you know exactly what day that you ovulate on, and confirm that through temperature. The next step is to optimize your diet now. The sooner you can focus on your diet before your intended pregnancy, the better. So really paying attention to what you're eating is absolutely essential for hormone health as well as fertility in general. So we want to look at what foods should we decrease. These are foods that contribute to hormonal imbalances. So things like alcohol, excessive sugar, excessive omega-6 fats. If you're smoking, stop smoking, even cannabis, because this can negatively impact fertility. Then we want to look at what to increase in our diet. So the best foods for hormone health and for fertility are eggs, whole fruits, whole vegetables, legumes, which are beans and lentils, organic grass-fed animal products, fatty fish, oysters, mussels, clams, whole grains, nuts, seeds, olive oil, avocado, berries, citrus fruits, and full-fat organic grass-fed dairy if you tolerate dairy. You also want to pay attention to hydration. Most people are chronically dehydrated and have no idea. If it's accessible to you, opt for as much organic food as possible, because this really does make a difference on your toxic load. So this is a big one. We live in a very toxic world, and these chemicals and things that we're exposed to negatively impact fertility. Now, of course, the older we get, the more time that we have been exposed to these toxic chemicals. So we really need to be conscientious about avoiding these toxins and also helping our body actually detoxify if needed. Environmental toxins disrupt hormones and can decrease fertility. They affect egg quality, ovulation, even sperm health. So you want to make sure your partner is also paying attention to this. You can reduce your exposure to toxins by choosing organic foods, using natural products, and avoiding plastic containers where you can. We also need to look at stress. So it's very likely if you're a woman in your 30s in today's day and age, you're under a lot of stress. Now, stress is the number one most important thing when it comes to hormones, because if you are stressed out, your body is not going to actually ovulate. It may delay ovulation, and we don't want that. So we want to make sure that your body actually feels safe enough to ovulate, because from a biological perspective, if we were under a lot of stress, that was a danger signal for the body. And the body thought it was doing you a favor by delaying or preventing ovulation because it doesn't want to bring a baby into an unsafe world. So we need to make sure our bodies feel safe, feel grounded in order for us to have healthy, regular ovulation. To think about decreasing stressors where we can. Now, of course, we cannot control everything, but if there's anything you can do to decrease the stressors in your life, that is great. You also want to increase your stress resilience through diet and lifestyle. Then we want to look at our circadian rhythm. So this is your sleep-wake cycle. Now you might be wondering, what the heck does this have to do with my hormones? The answer is everything. So your sleep-wake cycle, your circadian rhythm, is so important for your hormone health. In order to do this, you need to focus on getting natural light in the morning when cortisol is naturally higher, and as much as you can throughout the day. Most women are indoors most of the day under artificial light, and this is negatively impacting circadian rhythm and hormone health. So take little breaks throughout the day to go outside, even if it's rainy, even if it's winter. This is really important. Additionally, decreasing artificial light, especially at night when our bodies are not meant to be exposed to these blue lights. So that means not being on electronics at least an hour before bed, after the sun goes down, using some blue blocker glasses. That kind of thing can really help the circadian rhythm, which helps our hormone health, especially as we get older. Lastly, we want to fix any underlying hormonal imbalances. So the truth is that most women, especially women in their 30s, have an underlying hormonal imbalance and have no idea. So if you eventually want to get pregnant, it's so important to fix these and rebalance your hormones way before you want to get pregnant, because that will set you up for an easier, healthier pregnancy once you are ready. So let's talk about next steps. This was a lot of information. The best next step to do is to download my free hormone healing guide. I will link it below. That will give you a great baseline of a really good place to start to help balance your hormones. You can also schedule a free call with me if you want a little bit more one-on-one support, or if you're in your 30s already and you really want to get going on this and get your hormones balanced as soon as possible to help increase your chances of a healthy pregnancy later in life. If you found this helpful, please like and subscribe for more content like this. And let me know in the comments if you are a woman over 30 eventually hoping to get pregnant, and we can all help support each other. See you next time.